Okay, hello everyone. Good evening, morning, afternoon, from wherever in the world you are joining from. First of all, we warmly welcome you to this exciting webinar on financial reporting transformation that is hosted and produced by Hub of Finance Transformation, HOF, in association with our collaborative partner, FPNA from Egypt. The FPNA community is the one who is doing tremendous work for the financial planning and analysis professionals in the Egypt and also in other Middle East countries. So we hope, first of all of you are staying safe and doing well. And we would like to thank you all for joining this exciting webinar. My name is Mohammed Zishan. Before moving on, just I would like to quickly tell you about the logistics of this webinar. It's going to be almost 1 hour and 15 minutes webinar. And the topics, as you can see, we are going to cover are analyzing and visualizing financial data with Power BI, storytelling with data, and integrated reporting. So these are the areas that we are going to cover in today's webinar. And we will be having three speakers, including myself, Mohammed Ishan, and there are two more speakers. They are going to introduce themselves in the upcoming session. So the today's webinar will be divided into three different areas, as you can see on your screen. And we will be having a Q&A at the end of the session. So whatever questions you have relating to each session, you can just drop your question in the chat box and we will try to address as maximum questions as possible during the Q&A session and after each session then we will take a pause and we will try to address as maximum as we can. And just if you face any technical difficulty, please drop your message in the chat box and our admin will try to take care of it. So before moving on, just I would like to give you my introduction. My name is Mohammed Ishan. I am the managing partner and head of finance transformation projects at Hub of Finance Transformation HOF. I'm a PwC trained accounting professional. I have also worked with Athenium Expert platform, that is a global information sharing platform based in Germany. I sit on their expert panel of accounting and finance and worked with their various clients, including EY Singapore and some other consultancy firms. I am also a public speaker and researcher on finance, strategy, leadership, and technology. Regarding my work experience, I have more than 17 years of diversified work experience in a variety of industries within Asia and Gulf region, including UAE, Oman, Saudi Arabia, within areas of strategy, finance transformation, operations. I have worked myself on a very mega finance transformation projects also in my previous companies. Also, I hold some senior level positions, including head of finance, CFO, finance business partner, and FP&A team lead. Also, previously, I acted as a mentor for ICAEW and ACCA students as QPRT and ACCA workplace mentor. And I mentored and coached lots of new students in the ACCA and ICAEW who are pursuing their memberships. And also myself, I am ACCA member, UAE Chartered Accountant. I hold a master's degree in commerce, and I am also a trained strategist from USA. So that's my background. And just before moving on, we would like to just quickly tell you about this organization, Hub of Finance Transformation. Is headquartered in UAE, is a global training and consulting service provider of business excellence solutions. Since 2018, we have a world-class team of experts on different emerging areas of finance, including finance business partner, emerging technologies, data analytics, and leadership, who have more than 2 decades of experience, including most of our trainers are practitioners who have more than 20 years of experience in global multinational and Fortune 100 companies from USA, UK, Canada, from Australia, and from Dubai, from Pakistan, India. We have variety of professionals with subject matter experts in their area of domain, and we put all these talents actually together to specialize in developing and transforming your finance careers and your finance functions to where you want to take it. So as we are in the business of transformation, these are just a quick look at our portfolio of services. We are providing corporate training and coaching services in areas of finance transformation, as well as management consultancies services we are providing. Currently, we are providing virtual consultancy on finance transformation projects to companies in Egypt, as well as we have some clients in Saudi, as well as in Dubai, where we have worked on. Also, we are providing corporate trainings and coaching programs. Apart from this, we also provide outsourced services, as well as we hold some virtual and on-site events. As we hold two mega virtual event last year, what that was Finance Transformation Summit, as well as a webinar series on empowering finance professionals. You can find all these details on our website. I don't want to spend too much time here. As you can see, and visit our website of-global.com, and you can find all the details about our training programs, our consultancy services, our clients, our services, our team, everything is available. You can see, you can visit hof-global.com and follow us also on LinkedIn. We have almost 1,400 members from almost 30 countries around the globe. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the upcoming videos and initiatives that we are taking to support the global community of finance professionals who aspire to transform their careers and finance functions through the next generation of finance. So before moving on and to cover the area of integrated reporting, which is going to be covered by myself, and the other two areas are going to be covered by another speakers shortly. So as we all know that even before the emergence of COVID-19 pandemic, we have been living in an era of disruptions. As you can see, different statements during the last couple of years, according to Harvard Business Review, 52% of the companies in Fortune 500 have either gone bankrupt, been acquired, or ceased to exist since the year 2000. As we all know, the outbreak of uh, bubble, then we have 2008-9 financial crisis, and then of course with the disruptive and emerging technologies, as we can see, the business landscape has completely transformed and have gone through a significant changes. As you can see, according to KPMG, 76% of the CEO says that their growth relies on the ability to challenge and disrupt any business norm. And most of their business models are going to be disrupted because of emerging and digital technologies. So as we all know, and apart from this, on above it, the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic has added to the VUCA environment where volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguities has become the new normal for the businesses around the globe. So where our finance function fits, as we all know that our accounting system is 500-year-old accounting system, where we have most of the accountants with a scorekeeper mentality, focus on the transaction processing. 70% of the time they spend on transaction processing work, and they're historically oriented. Whereas we need a corporate finance function to support the modern business functions and to meet the expectations of the stakeholders by becoming a truly true business partners, and to have commercial mindset and focus on the future oriented, not only just the backward looking function, but we have to become more strategic enabling function where we can contribute to the value creation process of the organization. So as we are going to talk about the reporting today, the reporting transformation, and the topic I'm going to cover is integrated reporting. So before that, we would I would just like to highlight some of the limitations that we have from our traditional financial reporting system that we are currently following. So as we all know, our traditional financial reporting is short-term in focus, is backward-looking with compliance, box-ticking mentality, and a fragmented approach, making reports too boring, too long, too complex, without telling a holistic story. So this is the reporting, the financial reporting that we have is one of the major tools that we can use to influence and impact the strategic decision making and the overall decision making of the organization. And if we don't have such a strong and such effective financial reporting, then of course we cannot play a major role in influencing and impacting the strategic and the operational decisions of the organization, and by acting as a true finance leaders. And as we all know, the focus of traditional financial reporting is on the profit maximization, or maximizing the wealth of a stakeholder or the shareholders. That's true. Of course, every business, the ultimate aim of every commercial for profit business is to maximize the wealth of shareholders. But it's not only about the shareholders, how we can drive that shareholders value, that is more important. And that's these concepts are covered by the integrated reporting very well, as we are going to share. So just before moving on to the concept of integrated reporting, I would just like to share with you the latest figures of the price to book value of some of the world renowned and the tech giants companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. So this is the price to book value. As you can see, this is the ratio of market to the book value that is derived from our accounting records, our accounting rules, from the balance sheet. As we all know, the book value of the company, and that is for Apple, it is 30.38, means the market value of Apple is 30.38 times than its book value. So where is this major and significant amount of difference. That is all because of the intangible asset that even our accounting system is not able to recognize and realize using our accounting standards. And if you can see some other companies, Amazon 16.46, Microsoft, and General Electric. So these are the companies who have such a amount of market capitalization. As we all know, even Apple, it crosses $1 trillion last year. It crosses even the market cap of Saudi Aramco, the world's most valuable company. And so these are the companies who have such a high level of market value as compared to the book value. So where this value is coming from, that is very important to understand, because it is not being captured by our traditional financial reporting system, because it's solely based on compliance and tick box ticking and fragmented approach, as I mentioned earlier. And also to relating to this, if we focus on this chart that is taken from one of the research firm, that the proportion of the tangible assets and the intangible assets. Of course, being finance professionals, you all know what is tangible asset and what is intangible assets. So if we see the history from 1975 up till 2018, and the situation is not so different. In 2020, still these companies are on the top. So in the 1975, if you see the market cap and the contribution of intangible and the tangible assets, in the blue color is representing intangible assets and the gray color is representing tangible assets. So if you see in 1975, out of $715 billion, the contribution of the tangible assets were 594, where intangible were making very less contribution. And if we move on to 1985, so on up to 2018, then you can see the such a high level of difference between the contribution of intangible and tangible value to the market capitalization of these companies like Apple, Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon. So almost, if you can see, out of $25 trillion, the intangible assets accounts for $21 trillion. So almost 85 to 90% of the company's worth, it relates to the intangible assets. And these are the intangible assets which are very difficult to value. Even these are thin and they don't have any secondary markets. They are difficult to insure. We are not talking about some traditional conventional intangible assets that are measured by some of the IAS or IFRS. We are not talking about those. I will talk in the upcoming slides about intangible assets like the company brand, like customer relationships, like the company's reputation in the market, its leadership, its culture. These are all the intangible assets that are creating such a high level of value for the companies, and it's not being captured by our traditional financial reporting and accounting system. So what is integrated reporting? The concept of integrated reporting, of course, is not very new. It was coined by International Integrated Reporting Council back almost 10 years back. But this concept is now gaining so much prominence even after the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. As I mentioned previously, the disruptions and the era of business disruptions that we are living in, and how old and how outdated our accounting system is. Here, the integrated reporting is really coming at the forefront, because if you can see the definition of integrated reporting, it is a strategic and future-oriented communication about how organization draws on the different resources available to them, the capitals, to create value over time in the short, medium, and long term for all the key stakeholders. So the crux of the integrated reporting and the foundation of the integrated reporting is the value creation as opposed to just the profit creation or the profit maximization. As we all know that the main objective of our financial and the financial management or in our corporate finance is to maximize the profit, right? We have to control or reduce our expenses, maximize the revenue. That's very simple. We have to maximize the profit, but the value maximization is much broader concepts. It's based on the creating value not only for the shareholders, but creating value for a wide variety of stakeholders, the customers, your employees, your banks, your suppliers, your regulators, your society. So these are all the stakeholders for whom company has to create the value, and this has to be reported on a regular basis because of such uh, uncertain situation and volatility, complexities in the market. The management and the stakeholder, they should aware of not only the financial numbers, that what were our profit, what was our net profit or gain. They are more concerned about the non-financial information, and in the not only the short term but also in the medium to long term. So if we talk about the value, really, what is the value? Value is simply the difference between the benefits enjoyed by the firm's stakeholders and its cost to produce those benefits. So the objective behind integrated reporting is to drive the shareholders' value through customers and other stakeholders' value. So if we create value for our customers, if we create value for our other stakeholders, including our suppliers, our customers, our employees, and ultimately, obviously, the value will pass on to the shareholder. But if we have a very traditional financial mentality and approach, or very fragmented approach where we are just focusing on the maximizing the wealth of shareholder, then we are not understanding the value creation process of the business. That's what the purpose of integrated reporting is. And how an organization creates value, first of all, of course, while making sales, which create changes in the financial capital. That's what we capture using our traditional financial reporting system. But when we talk about other range of value creation activities, it includes interactions and relationships that also create value, that are not captured by our traditional accounting and financial reporting system. For example, effects of organizations, business activities, and outputs on the customer satisfaction. Of course, if the customer is satisfied, then it is going to create value ultimately for the company, for the shareholders, right? Then we have suppliers' willingness to trade with the organization, our relationship with the suppliers. Then other initiatives with other organization business partners who are going to undertake certain initiatives and business with the organization, the supply chain. So these are all the value creating activity that should be captured in the our reporting, that's taken care by integrated reporting. So the concept of integrated reporting is based on the six capitals. As we all know that in our traditional financial reporting, the main focus is on the financial and the manufactured capital. Financial capital, as we all know, our finance, the funds available to the company. The manufactured capital is our property, plant, and equipment, very famous accounting standard for most of the finance professional, IS 16, and there are no new IFRS also updates now. So these are obviously the focus of all the finance professional. They are just focusing on the property, plant, equipment, and what is our capital investment. But these are the very important capitals of the organization that is not being taken care by the financial and accounting and reporting system. As I mentioned earlier in previous slide, the contribution of the intangible assets, that's what here it comes. The intellectual asset means your patent, your copyrights, your different formulas that your organization own. Then human that includes mainly your employees, the talent, their skills, their competencies, the knowledge, the experience that they have. This is all also their human capital, that is most important capital and not recognized in any of our balance sheets, right? Then we have social and relationship capital. This is the capital means depending upon our relationship with the customers, our relationship with the employers, with the employees, with suppliers, with other wide variety of stakeholders, our brand value in the market. So these are all the different capital. And the natural capital, of course, the renewable, non-renewable energy, land, oil, air, this all obviously are all the mineral resources that or some organizations have access to. So these are the different six different types of capitals, including the intangible assets that contributes to the significant amount of value to the overall value creation process of the business. So if you want to become a finance business partner or a strategic CFO, then you have to include in your reporting, all of these capitals, not only financial manufacture, but also you have to understand the value creation, the relationship between all these different capitals, including intellectual, human, social relationships. So this all what is covered by the integrated reporting. And there are certain components and the models that integrated reporting used, including some of the external drivers or the external environment impacting the company. Then we have a strategy and governance, means obviously we need some governance, internal controls, your risk assessment for the organization. Then we have a business model. Business model is the engine through which we create the value for the company. So understanding the value creating activities, what products or services we are producing. So this is the complete relationship between the different components. Not so you can see here, not only the finance, but it's all about the strategy, it's all about the performance, it's all about the external drivers that are affecting the ability of the organization to create value, and not only the financial value, but the value for a wide variety of stakeholders, because those value will be ultimately turned into the value for the shareholders, right? Then we have there are certain guiding principles and concise, for example, conciseness, reliability. Then the focus should be very strategic. and it includes the future outlook of the organization, where the organization is heading, its industry and its competitive landscape, then the operating context where the organization is operating, its risks and opportunities, then organizational obviously overview on the business model, its performance, its governance structure, its internal controls, its strategic objectives. So these are all the different components that are covered in the integrated reporting. I will show you some of the samples also in the upcoming slides of the integrated reporting. And in our next session of Power BI, our Power BI expert, Mohammed Kashif, he will also show you some examples of integrated reporting and how we can create an integrated report using even the Power BI also. We have such a powerful visualization tool. Then the crux, the main foundation of integrated reporting is to establish and develop your integrated thinking, integrated approach. And that, as I mentioned, you have to start from the all the stakeholders' expectation. Your focus should not only be on the shareholders, but it should be on the wide variety of stakeholders that are available in your organization that include your customers, suppliers, society, your banks, your regulators. So first of all, you have to understand the business model, your customer, your value creating activities, your distribution channels, so the complete business model of the organization. Then you have to assess the risks and opportunities that are surrounding the environment. For example, if the best example we can take of the COVID-19 pandemic, what's its impact on your business and what risks it is imposing to your supply chain or other operating activities. Then we have to adapt our business process. We have to understand the business processes, and we have to understand all the different components that are working in the organization. Not only within, we should sit in the finance and have a very siloed approach where we are working in silos without any collaboration with other functions. That's how we are able to develop the integrated thinking, and then only we can create the value for the wide variety of stakeholders, not only the shareholders. And this is the model that we can use. As I mentioned to you, that these are the different types of capitals that are available to the organization, not only the financial and manufactured capital that is based on our traditional balance sheet, but also intellectuals, intangible assets, our relationship with the customer, relationship with employees, human. So these are all the inputs into the organization. Then there is a business model that processes and that creates the value. Then surrounding all this, there is a governance structure and there is an external environment of the organization where it is operating. And then obviously every organization, if you can see on the top, has a vision and mission statement for the organization. So how that vision and mission statement can be achieved through the strategy and resource allocation. So these are all the entire process that is being captured by integrated reporting. And then if you can see, the output is also in the form of these six capitals, because obviously these value creating activities will help to either increase or decrease your all of these capitals, right? So then this process continues. For example, if you have, our focus is only on the finance, so when there is an increase in the finance, we as a finance professional, we advise companies to just reinvest that financial capital into the company. But here, when we are having a more integrated approach, we are focusing also on other human. For example, if we have invested on any human, on any employees through training and development, and he has become so experienced and expert in certain areas, so we can utilize this guy in many other projects, right? So that will be the reinvestment into the business, and that has to be captured by the integrated reporting and our monthly reporting, that how we can utilize different relationships and different, for example, if we have a very good relationships, improve relationship with our customers or with other stakeholders, then how we can reinvest on that to build our more business. So of course, whenever we input, the output will be more, right? The concept should be of value creation, that output should be more than the input. So every time the output should be more than the input. So this is the concept, and there are some these are some examples of integrated reporting, although these are quite old, but just to give you the concept that how integrated reported works, that these are the performance against the strategy. So we are not only reporting the financial numbers, but also the non-financial information. For example, the number of footfalls into the organization, how many people visited their mall or visited their business centers, or in case of outlets or stores if they have. So these are the different numbers that are going to be presented, and how the business is operating, what are our business model, how we create, how we sell the business. which segments we are selling the business. So these are all the different areas that we can cover in integrated reporting. And of course, Kashif, he will talk more about integrated reporting using the Power BI. So these were just the examples. So just before closing, some of the major benefits of integrated reporting is helps finance to develop integrated business approach by connecting the dots as compared to working in the silos within the finance function. It helps finance in developing strong business relationship as a business partner or finance business partner. It can also help FP&A in becoming more agile and future oriented, addressing various risks and opportunities surrounding the business. Then it can help in making more strategy presentation, holistic business story, focusing on the value maximization as opposed to, as I discussed before, not only the profit maximization. Then there are lots of benefits. It can improve the allocation of resources because being an FP&A, you have to ensure effective allocation of the organizational resources. Then it can also help you to streamline your reporting, greater access to the information from a wide range of both internal and external sources, integrated processes. So that's the all about the integrated reporting, and this is the framework. Just I would like to give you a quick overview of our framework that we use to transform the financial management reporting process. So the integrated reporting and the integrated mindset, as you can see, just the one component, one enabler or one pillar of this transformation. There are tools and system. Of course, we have data analytics, visualization tools that Kashif is going to talk about now. And then we have data management. Of course, this is not the area of finance, but finance professionals should understand, of course, the data structure, data governance, the velocity of data, variety of data, as we are overloaded with tons and millions of bytes of data these days because of the emerging and digital technology. So of course we have to understand how to reconcile that data, the accuracy of data, by collaborating with the IT function. Then these are organizational structure, culture, how we can align with the overall organization, how we can align with the stakeholders' expectations. And then lastly is all about the communication with impact, because when we talk about financial and reporting transformations, people usually think that, oh, we can just replace our system, we can just replace our Excel with Power BI or some fancy tools, and we can transform and improve our reporting. No, it's just one of the enabler of the reporting. You have to first work on improving your mindset, you have to work on improving your data management, you have to work on organizational alignment, your culture, the structure of the organization, and of course communicating with impact. That most important part here is the storytelling that is we are going to cover it shortly in the next session by our next speaker, Mohammed Al Ruby. So these are the areas or the enablers that you can use to transform your financial reporting to a more integrated financial reporting, reporting on the value creation, strategic objective, business model, and business performance reporting as well. So now, without any further ado, I would like to invite Mohammed Al Ruby to take from here, and he will be giving you the session on data storytelling and how to communicate with impact. That is one of the main enabler of this transformation framework. So Mohammed, are you with us? Mohammed Al Ruby, can't hear you. Okay, just hold on. Let me, I think, need to release my control. Just give me a second. So that, yes, Mohammed, can you hear me? Yeah, you are unmuted now, please. And you can share your screen and take from here. Hi, Mohammed, can you hear me? I think so. There is some issue with this connection. Okay, Kashif, can you take from here?
No issue at all.
Okay, I
I
think
think
Mohammed.
Mr. Al-Rubi is online. He should take.
Okay, I think he has some issues with the network. Mohammed, can you hear us? I can see you, but I can't hear you. Maybe your mic has some issue.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, if you can give me control to share my screen, because it's still
Yeah,
the
sure.
same.
Yes, you can share now.
Okay, hello everyone. Today I'm gonna speak about very interesting topic, which is data storytelling. All of us as a finance people need to know how to tell the proper story to impact decision making for our business partners. So first of all, let me give you a quick brief about myself. I'm a finance business partner, FP&D leader with more than 18 years of experience in global multinational companies like Johnson & Johnson, Novartis, Allergan, Takeda, and Energizer. I handled multiple international senior roles across Middle East, Africa, Turkey, and Southwest Asia. I'm an international finance speaker, certified CIMA from UK, FPAC from US, and I hold MBA as well. So this is our today's agenda. The importance of data story. Then we're gonna talk about how to create a strong data story and what are the key elements of building a data story. And then we're gonna ending up with the impactful data story. So what is data story? What are the key components of data story? So data storytelling is all about bringing data to life. We are as a finance professionals, we are the source of many information, many data. We have balance sheet, trial balance, sales reports, OPEX reports. So we need to know how to bring it to life. How can we bring data into life? Number one, through transforming data. So we need to transform our data into accessible and effective visual formats. So we need to transform our data, our numbers, into a very simple visuals for our stakeholders or our business partners. Then we need to build a narrative around our data. We need to put a strong message. We need to put a strong story behind our numbers. Will help us to influence decision making, influence strategy, and inspire actions. So data storytelling in a nutshell is all about bringing data to life by transforming our data, by making it accessible, effective for our business partners, and building a narrative around it. So why data story is very important, especially for the finance professionals. Number one, stories are memorable. People always forget numbers. If you present trial balance or balance sheet or P&L or whatever, people will forget your numbers immediately after the meeting. But people will never forget stories. So stories are memorable. Stories engage our sense. Stories moves us to feel, moves us to act. So again, please, if you are a finance professionals, you have to deliver your message in a story, not just presenting numbers. We are as a finance professionals, owning and reporting number is not enough for us as a finance professionals, right? So we need to know how to explain our numbers to our business partner in a way that they will understand. We need to make it simple. We need to make it visuals. We need to tell a right story to impact decision making. Also, if we are as a finance professionals stopping our career in just analyzing data, problem solving without knowing and upskilling our skills of telling the story, our career will stop as a financial analyst or will stop as a data scientist. We cannot take the first level in the finance career being a CFO or finance director without, without understanding how to tell the proper business story. So we are as a finance need to provide clear, precise, and transparent message and turning our complex numbers, complex analytics into simple and impactful message. This is why we have to learn and upskill our knowledge on how to tell a data story. There are three levels or three steps to build your story. In a nutshell, it's all about exploring. We have to explore our data. So we have to start with gathering our big data, analyzing our data, understanding the relationships between our data, making comparisons analysis, making trend analysis, identifying the key messages, identifying the key outliers, understanding our business problems, our business risks, our business opportunities. So the data story starting with exploring, data exploration. That's our starting point in building any data story. Then after exploring and understanding the key message, understanding the key points that we want to tell our audience about it, we have to know how to explain our data. So to explain our data, we need to know how to make it effective and how to put the proper visuals, the proper charts. And it's not only about visualization. We have to know also how to add context, because numbers without context has no meanings. So we have to know how to make it visuals, how to add the proper context to make it meaningful and actionable for our decision makers. This is the second step. Then, after understanding the message, after understanding our key story, after adding context, after adding the proper charts, we need to make it engaging to our business partners, right? We need to inspire them. We need to engage them. So the third step is about inspiring people, telling impactful story, telling the proper presentation, telling them the proper and the memorable presentation. So those are the key three steps to tell the proper business story. Explore your data, explain your data, and then inspire your audience. What are the key elements of a good data story? Data story is all about three things: data, visuals, and narrative. We cannot have a good story without combining the three of them. So if we have only data with visuals, I know many finance professionals just sending to their top management just data with a very nice dashboard. But this is will do what? This is will just enlighten, right? You are just using data visualization to reveal insights hidden in the data. But this is will not make your audience engaging. This is will not simplify things to them. Also, if we have a data with a story or with a narrative without visualizing it, that will make it very boring. It will explain the story, but it will not simplify things to your business partners. So data with narrative without visualization, it will explain and it will help people to understand, but it will not make it, very engaging, very simple for your business partners. Even if you have visuals with narrative, with no data, so it will be engaging, but with no evidence, with no real message you're gonna tell your audience. It will engage, but with no source of truth, with no evidence, with no numbers. So to have a true and strong data story, we need the three elements. We need data combining with visuals and combining with narrative. That will help us to make that change and makes an impact. Again, please, we are as a finance people, if we are sending P&L or if we are sending sales reports, that's only data. You have to know how to visualize your data. And also, you have to know how to put the proper message, the proper narrative, the proper story to have a combination of impactful business story, which will make impact and will make the change. I'm gonna share with you now 3 tips on how to make impactful data story. Number 1, context. Numbers has no meanings without context. If you send it to your stakeholders, sales report with no explanation, with no comments, Do you think that data will explain itself? So don't let data speak itself. We have to put the message behind number. We have to put the right context behind number. There are three types of context we have to add or we can add to our data. Number one, compare. This is the first type of context, which is comparing. When you present any number, you can compare it to a relative things to make it meaningful. So for example, you can say we have a 20 million sales, which is 3 million above last year, and it is twice our nearest competitors. So we added a context to the $20 million sales with a meaningful message, which is we are double our competitors, which we are 3 million above our last year. Some finance professional just send sales report, which is showing our sales is 20 million. It has no meanings. So we have to add the proper context. And we can make the comparison between different KPIs or different matters like benchmarks, like competitor, like versus prior year, versus forecast, versus trend, versus last month. So we have to compare our numbers versus benchmark to have a meaningful data. The second type of context is explaining with analogies. For example, if you tell your stakeholders, if we stopped promoting, it will take 3 months to liquidate our excess inventory of 2 million. So if you send a report with just telling your management that we have inventory by 2 million, what does it mean? It has no meanings. But once you add the context and said to your business partners, guys, yes, we have 2 million inventory, and the meanings of this 2 million is without promotion, without implementing commercial promotions, it might take more than 3 months to liquidate our inventory. Now we have a meaning of our number. The third type of context, which is add business interpretation. For example, you can say usage is a correlation with discounts for every $1 discount, customer of product A increased by $24. This is a clear example of a context. So if you can send it to your management just that we implemented a promotion with a $1 discount. What does it mean? It has no meanings. But if we said that we have a $1 discount for customer A will increase their sales by $24, you have a complete message. You have a powerful message. That's why, again, this is my advice for all finance professionals. Add context to your numbers. Don't let data speak itself. So those are some questions will helping us to build the proper context or add the proper context to our numbers. We have to understand our audience. If you are sending a report to your executive management, it's different to sending a report to middle management. It's different to sending to the operational team. So we have to understand your audience. Based on understanding your audience, you're gonna customize the proper context for their needs. Also, we have to know what do you want from them to know? What are the key actions we are expecting from them? What bias does the audience have? What questions do you expect from them? So once you're expecting the questions you are expecting from your business partners, you can design your context. What message you want to deliver? What actions you expect from them? So once you answer all of those questions, it will help you a lot to design the proper context. And at the end, we have to tailor our context when we deliver it to our audience by tailoring it through our tone, our language, our way of communication. So again, understand your audience, know their expectations, expect their questions, and based on that, you can design the proper context to your data story. The second important tip for having a strong and impactful data story is to select the right visuals. All of us are using Excel or Power BI or whatever data visualizations tool to visualize our data. But we have to know how to visualize data. And we have also to know the importance of data visualizations. Do you know that human process visuals 60,000 times faster than text. Do you see the powerful of data visualizations? People retain usual information at more than 3 times the rate of text alone. Our brain see words as a picture, not individual letters. That's again encouraging us to visualize our data. So we are, as a trusted finance business partner, we need to turn our boring number, our words, into visual elements, such as charts, graphs, maps, tables, and that will help us to improve the quality of our communication between finance, between FPA and our business partners. I'm going to show you very few tips about how to select the proper data visualization. Those would be very simple examples because we cannot definitely explain all the types of charts. One of them is the single value. If you have one or two numbers, just one or two numbers, the best way to visualize it is just to make the number big and put the proper context and the message behind it. That's all. Don't send it to your stakeholders or to your top management long list of numbers, very complicated tables. Your message is only about one or two numbers. Just make the number big, put the message behind it. That's all. This will simplify the message to your stakeholders. This will make it very impactful and very powerful. If you have multiple dimensions of different measures, use tables. This is a very simple way to visualize your data. If you would like to emphasize more on key areas, and if you would like to leverage colored cells to convey relative magnitude, use a heat map. Lines, if you have a series of data across timelines, use the graph, which is lines. If you have multiple lines, highlight in a different color your focused data and keep all the rest are in gray. Another way of visualization, which is bars, when you must show quickly which category is bigger than the others, or if you'd like to compare categories versus each others, bars charts is the proper visuals for comparing categories or comparing products or comparing things to know which is the biggest, which one is the smallest. And if the text is long, use the horizontal bars. If the text is small, use the vertical bars. Last but not least, how to deliver a memorable story. Define your audience and the intent and tailor it to and customize it to your audience. Focus on one story, one big data. Don't confuse your audience with many messages and many ideas. Practice, practice, practice. This is a very important tip. Even if you are expert in your field, please, practicing is a big help to your data story. Start with attention grabbing attention, headline, one big message, one quick questions to grab attention. Give the audience reason to care about it. This will help them to care about your presentation and to grab their attention. Rule of 3 by Steve Jobs. This is one of the most famous ways of presenting a powerful presentation. Just tell them today, I'm gonna speak about 3 things. 1, 2, 3. Make it very powerful, very clear, very precise. Keep it stupid simple. Not everyone understands your technical data. Not everyone understands finance. So please keep it simple and speak the language of your audience. And at the end your story with a call of actions. Let people know what do you want from them. What are the key actions you are expecting from them. I'm done from my side, and I would like to hand over to my colleague, Mohamed Keshf. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Al-Rubi. Let me just share my screen. So can everybody see my slides?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, great. Thank you. So welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Thank you, Mohammed, and all the great professionals at Hoft, which have made this webinar possible for us. A little bit about myself and my organization. I am a member of Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of Pakistan, with over 16 years of experience in literally every area which touches finance, from corporate finance to public finance, data visualization, data analytics, internal audit, supply chain, procurement, business process, financial modeling, and even capacity building. I'm also founder of Kaizen Analytics LLP, and at Kaizen, our service portfolio is focused in two areas. First, we focus on capacity development, not just the training, but helping professionals implement the learning of the training program in their professional activities and reports. Second, we also focus on projects like data driven decision making projects with Power BI, so that the business may make informed decisions using their data to stay ahead of the curve. uh, Topics which are covered so far. So, tonight our conversation is about the financial reporting transformation. So far, we have already discussed the importance of integrated reporting and how it is vital to move from traditional financial reporting to more insightful integrated reporting. It is also discussed that why it is more than ever important now to communicate well with your data, why it is important to tell an engaging story with data to communicate your point. So after covering these 2 points, it's now time to introduce the topic of analyze and visualize your data for your audience to convey your point in an effective manner, which I will be covering in my next slides. In our professional career, we are given numerous tasks as a finance professional to analyze situation where we have to present the result to higher managements to support their business decision making. So the first few questions which come in my mind when I see the term analyze and visualize the data is, what is the business question to answer? Second is, what data, whether it is finance or business, will be necessary for analysis? Third is how to present the data for business decision making. And fourth, which is very important, is how to do it in a less possible time. That is an important factor. The finance professional will extract data from ERP, or if he has the access, or he will request for the data accordingly. All of the finance professional focus will be on the report or on the product, and they will hardly think about if there is any better tool available than Excel. And that is the important factor which I really want to emphasize in the few slides. Let me just park all this finance reporting discussion aside for just few minutes. Let's discuss about the tool and their respective professionals. Imagine we are discussing about various type of chefs. So the next question will be, what kind of tools which are important for different type of chefs? So if we can discuss whether there is a pastry chef or a pantry chef. So a pastry chef who deals with pastries, breads and desserts will have different set of tools. But a pantry chef who deals with all cold item like salads, they have a different type of chef. They will have a different type of tools. In short, as a chef, you will need in it on your toolbar, you need a knife to do your stuff. But it's important to choose the best type of knife to do your task in less time. So the key point is to choose the best type of knife to do your task in less time. And that is the whole point. Let's come back to the discussion which we were having, that is right tool available for finance professional. We will always have the evergreen MS Excel. It is definitely here to stay. It is there for around 34 to 35 years, and it's definitely increasing its ability to do its work. But the high end working, like presenting effective visuals to higher management for decision making, it requires some other line of tools. And there is a new line of tools which are making their way in our professional working. These are known as BI tool or business intelligence tool. Most focus of these tools are the Microsoft product Power BI, and the next one is Tableau. So I will definitely not run in a discussion which one is better, but my focus is that there are another tools apart from Excel which can be used by the finance professional to save their time and to report effectively. So it's important to see the changing world around us and the need of finance business professional then changing role. So let me revert back to the same slide of analyze and visualize data. Now, after all of our discussion, it's important to think about the tool with the same questions, that how we can analyze and visualize our data in less possible time. So if we can place our key questions in front of a tool of BI like Power BI, which we are asking. So our three questions, that what data, either finance or by business, will be necessary for analysis. The second one is about how to present the data for business decision making. And the third one is how to do it in a less possible time. So to answer the first question, what data, finance and business will be necessary for the analysis. So with tools like Power BI, you can extract either live data or static data from literally 100 plus sources, like different type of ERPs. There are CRMs like Salesforce. You can extract data from various websites, performance, and all other sources to create your impactful reports and dashboards for decision making. The second important thing, which is how to present data for business decision making. Here, you can use your storytelling abilities to choose the right charts. And with right chart or visual, I mean more than the visuals which are available in Excel. So for this webinar, I was just checking how many custom visuals are there right now for Power BI. And I found that there are more than 327 custom visuals in Power BI, and majority of them are free. And for those who there are some purchase involved, so the basic version is definitely totally free. So like in a dashboard, KPI visual is very important. And I was searching how many custom KPI visuals are there in Power BI, and I found that 78 custom KPI visuals are there in Power BI. So that is a huge number. Then there are 37 inbuilt visuals in Power BI, which are extremely powerful as compared to Excel. So the question of presenting the data in a better visual depends on the ability of the professional of the report or the creator of the report. Limitation of right visual is not a question as far as Power BI is concerned. And last question, how to do it in a less possible time? Power BI is enriched with many useful visualizations and help to represent data in various forms. But the most important is artificial intelligence visuals in Power BI. The decomposition tree, key influencer, Q&A, along with the new edition which was added November last year, was a smart narrative. So they literally take few minutes and even in few seconds to extract insights in some cases. They are known for low formula or even no formula based interactive dashboards. So they can create dashboards, meaningful and insightful dashboards in just few minutes if you have the ability to use those visuals and interact with your data. So as a finance business professional, we are always analyzing and visualizing data in our daily tasks, but it is important to master the skill of analyze the data and visualize it for decision making using the right tool, and the right tool is the key word. um, it is much quicker to spot something unusual if it is presented in a right way instead of just reading pages and pages with numbers and text to find something useful. Color coding is the right way with right use of visual to save the time of higher management and to draw their focus on the right insight. It is important to have the insight in a real-time manner. It is not advisable to come up with an issue which literally happens few weeks or months ago. So in this world, you must react almost instantly. There's a huge challenge in large organizations where they do have purchased a lot of licenses but end up using only Excel with its own limitation. By using Power BI, you will have to just create your dashboard only one time, and then it will literally refresh the data on regular basis. So your efforts will not be used in creating the report again and again, but rather your efforts will be utilized in making various business decisions, which is the rightful direction of a finance business professional by using insights, and that is the need of the hour. So after uh, just presenting my case, I will hand over to Mr. Zishan for our Q&A session, and thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you very much, Kashif. There is one question relating to Power BI. How can we use BI for reconciliation of deposits and withdrawal transactions or other software in use for reconciliation of large volumes of withdrawals and deposits with no clear to identification factors for reconciliation available in database?
Yes, I have read that question, and well, there are three main pillars for any reports. The first is the data modeling. The second is the work around with the right decks, and the third is presenting it with visualization. So the question which was posed is, yes, it can be done by using the right modeling techniques, by using the right DAX function, by using the right visuals. It can be done, definitely.
Okay. And I think financial analysis part, one question is there you have already covered. Okay. Can you everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much, Kashif and Mohammed. So just as we have gone through three main important area today of the financial reporting transformation, including integrated reporting and data storytelling, communicating with impact, and Power BI. So we have created a very unique blend of modules, and we have put it into one virtual training program, that is a financial reporting and management reporting transformation program that we are going to start from 3rd of July. And it's going to be a one session per week for 12 weeks. It's a 3-month sessions covering three main areas, including module one is the integrated reporting, that is the transforming corporate reporting. Module two will be the storytelling with data, and module three will be analyzing and visualizing data. So the concept behind making this structure of this program is, for example, if we take the example of author of any book, obviously he has to tell the story, right? But if he don't have the concepts, if he don't have an integrated approach to all the ideas that he have, how he can use his data storytelling skills, right? So first of all, you have to have a very integrated business approach, as opposed to a very traditional finance approach or finance financial management approach. So that's why first in this module we will be covering about the integrated reporting, how we can create the integrated reports, what are the contents of integrated report with various examples. And then in the second module we will tell how you can develop the skills to tell the story about the numbers. So in the module one you will learn about developing a holistic story for the business, and in the module two you will learn about how to tell the story with a more impactful and effective way, communicating with effectiveness and communicating with impact. Then in the module three, we will obviously need a tool, as Kashif mentioned during his session, that obviously we need a tool to convey our stories, to convey the message. So that tool which we will be using is the Power BI as a visualization and analytical tool that we can use. So these all three modules are designed in that way so that you can build your story, you can tell your story, and then you can visualize your story using a visualization tool. So that's how you can transform your financial and management reporting. So in the integrated reporting, these are the four classes that we will be covering. We will cover about integrated reporting, the integrated mindset, how you can transform or transition to integrated mindset, then the preparation of integrated report. But because integrated report is not only just about creating reports in Excel or Power BI, it requires an integrated business approach, a very strategic approach to the overall business, changing your mindset. That's all the foundation of and the understanding the value creation process of your business. So that's all we will be covering. And in the class 4, we will be working on the implementation of integrated reporting. Then in the module 2, we will be covering about the data storytelling, as already Mohammed Al-Rubi has given you overview of this module, including the importance of data story, building your story, data story visualization, and presenting a memorable data story. So that here how you can communicate with impact, you can develop your skills, because being a finance professional, and if we are trying to, of course, transform ourselves into the role of finance business partner, or even if we are planning to elevate our career to the senior leadership roles like strategic or business CFOs, then of course we should have the capability to impact and influence the decision making that impacts the strategic direction of the company. And that's only can come with our ability to communicate effectively. And of course, the foundation should be to have a very good, insightful business approach and integrated business approach that you will learn in the prior module of integrated reporting. And in the third module, lastly, we will take you through a very practical use and the practice of this visualization tool, analyzing, visualizing data, where we will train you on the Power BI. Also, you will be giving a group access to Power BI to practice, to build all the reports. So whatever you have learned here in module 1 and module 2, you will be practicing here using the Power BI to build your integrated reporting and to tell your story using the numbers or using the data using this visualization tool. So that's the sequence of this program. And there are certain unique features of this program. It includes, first of all, the live virtual classes. There will be special guest speakers also who will be sharing their experience of financial reporting transformation during the program. Then there will be assignment and real world case studies. We will be working together on building integrated reports for a wide variety of industries, including manufacturing, banking, as we will be having students from a variety of different industries. So we will be working as a peer group activities as well, as you can see. to work and develop together integrated reports specific to your business. And of course, that can help you a lot to transform your reporting skills, and that ultimately can help you to transform the financial and management reporting systems in your organization. And then we all students will also be given access to the Power BI, and then we will be having some other recorded versions of other videos, including AI based analytic tools, and also we will be covering some part of data analytics as well in this program. So this is the module program that is going to be start, and these are the details and the durations. It's going to be a 3 months program, and live virtual classes will be held every Saturday at 7 p.m. Dubai time. It's all virtual, and all the recordings will be available. All the materials will be available. We are pricing it as very reasonable price. The total price $799, and there is a discount until 30th April of $100. So you can just register at $699, and some installment option is also available. So this registration will be open from tomorrow on our website. So if you are interested, you can just enroll it, or if you need any further information, just please feel free to email us, or even now, if you have any question, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask any questions. We have last, I think, 3 to 4 minutes left before we wrap up. If you want, you can either unmute yourself or just drop your message in the chat box. There are some questions. Let's check. Okay, Power BI.
Well, there is one
There are some
as
couple of questions I can see.
yes. So there was one question about why Power BI take a lot of time in complicated module to refresh and evaluate data. Yes. So it is from Mr. Hatim. Um, Let me just answer this question. There are more than one way to do the calculation. So if you are doing the calculation which is taking a lot of resources of the Power BI itself, then the dashboard will take time to refresh and to update. So it is not about doing the calculation. It is about doing the calculation in a way that it uses less resource of Power BI to do the calculations. Then it will utilize less resources and the data will be refreshed much quicker. So that was one question by Mr. Hatim, one of the participants.
Okay, and I can see one more question. Which reporting software is it advisable to use when you have big complex data for visualization? Tableau, Power BI, or others?
So definitely there are quite a number of tools. So in Gartner there are three leaders. Power BI is definitely on the top. There is a Tableau and there is a ClickSense as well. Power BI is backed by a huge company, that is Microsoft, and a very competitive environment. That is, in the environment which is built or supports the Power BI is huge. So there are developers across the globe which are sitting and which are creating various interactive visuals for free. So this is one example, and which I have covered in the topic, with that there are around 320 odd custom visuals. So these type of examples make Power BI much more easy. And the second thing which is important is, as a finance business professional, we are very much aware of the language of Excel. So the functional language of Excel, the formulas of Excel are very much known to us. So it is easy for finance professional, which are to 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 understand the language of Power BI, which is DAX. So it is much more similar to the language of Excel. So as a finance professional, we tend to understand the DAX language much more easily. So for other programs like Tableau has its own functional language. So that language is much harder to understand. I work in Power BI and Tableau, both of them. So I know both of them each and out. So working as a finance professional who is working in Excel, it is much more easy to shift or upgrade itself to Power BI. It will be difficult to upgrade itself to Tableau. So that will be the only discussion which I will do. Otherwise, definitely there are quite a number of tools which are available in to analyze and visualize the data. Thanks.
Okay, and one question posted by Carol, I think just lastly we can address that how to ensure the integrity of data and different reports. So if you ask me, I will tell that of course, if you have understanding of the business, if you understand the operations of the business, then of course, any nonsense data or any unusual variations in data, you can obviously identify yourself. Otherwise, of course, we should have a good data governance, we should have a good data management, and of course that's the role of IT function, that we should collaborate with them. And I think I would like to take just last few comments from Kashif also on this, how to ensure the data integrity while making decision
Yes,
on the
yes, yes, sure. Uh, the business intelligence tool, which is the Power BI has an exceptional, amazing data governance features. So I'll just take one example. If you are sitting in a large organization which runs across the country or across the region, you are in sales, you want to see your sales report. So Power BI not gives the authority to visualize data and the access to use or amend the data of that respective area. So only region A professionals will see the reports and the data of region A. The developer or the Power BI expert will create a holistic report, which covers all, say, for regions, but it will give the row level security at the highest level, that the professional from region A can see only region A data. So that is just one example of data governance. Definitely data governance is a huge topic, and this software is used in Fortune 500 companies, which don't only run in region but across the globe. So the the feature of data governance and security is hard to Power BI. So my answer is yes, it can be ensured in Power BI, definitely.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Kashyap. I think we are already over time. So, any further questions we would love to take offline. So, you can just drop us an email at info@hop-global.com, or you can just connect with us directly on LinkedIn through Kashyap, with Kashyap, Mohammed Al Ruby, myself. So, thank you very much. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Mohammed Al Ruby. And thank you, all the audience, for your time to attend. And take care. Good night. That's all from our side.
Thank you all, and thank you, Hoff, for this amazing session. Thank
Thank
you.
you.